life, and lunatics. The pretty lies, the ugly truth, I'm sick with love, life, and lunatics. So crazy but can't get enough of it. Welcome to Love, Life, and Lunatics, a podcast where I share personal stories about my life, my loves, and some crazy situations that I unfortunately got myself into. Sometimes I'll have a guest who will also share a story or two about a time that changed their life or had a hand in making them who they are today. So, hang out with me for a little while and enjoy Love, Life, and Lunatics. Hey everybody, this is a podcast that I've been wanting to do for over 3 years. It's gone through a few different phases, but finally, I just told myself to tell my stories the way that they happened. Some of these stories are funny and some are sad, while others are unpredictable, just like life is. So, let's get into episode 1. This story is called No. No was never a hard word for me. Some people have hang-ups with telling others no. For me, if I was asked something and my answer was no, then that was that. End of discussion. I wasn't a habitual no-sayer. However, I believe I was called mean throughout my childhood because no wasn't a problem for me to say and mean. I'd be on the playground playing with a kickball with my friends, and an older boy would approach us and tell us to give him the ball. You could bet your bottom dollar you'd hear a young Jania yelling out a resounding no. Or possibly a, you gotta wait your turn. Then an argument would ensue, or maybe a physical fight, but I never backed down. As I got older, people whispered behind my back that I was mean, or whatever. But I didn't want to be the mean girl. When I was 14, I was on a movie called The Jacksons, An American Dream. I was so excited to be a part of that film. I auditioned a couple of times for different roles, including the role of Hazel Gordy, Berry Gordy's daughter. I didn't get that part, but clearly they wanted me to participate in the film as I booked a role of a young fan who cornered the young Jackson boys and begged for their autograph. I had about 10 lines and 2 scenes. We filmed the first scene where I and another actress saw the actors who played the Jacksons and began to scream. Then we asked them for their autograph, presenting them with our autograph books and telling them how much we loved them. The scene was going well when suddenly the director stopped the scene and began talking to whoever was around him. A few minutes later, someone, I think the assistant director, walked up to me and said, "Honey, there's been a slight change to the script. The director thinks that when you ask the guys for their autographs, you should say your lines, then pull up your shirt and say, 'Never mind, would you sign my bra?'" I was stunned. What? That wasn't in the script, I said softly. "Yes, but the director thinks this will be better for this scene." I was very nervous. I wanted to be in this movie, but this didn't feel right. I was silent. "What is it, honey?" "I don't really feel comfortable pulling up my shirt. Could I just pull my collar down a little and ask him to sign right here?" I asked, pointing at my décolleté just under my collarbone. "Hang on, let me see," the AD said, stepping away from me to go speak with the director. Everyone was standing around, waiting. I was holding up production. Some of the background actors were staring at me, bothered. They knew this delay was because of me. This made me feel horrible. The AD finally came back over to me and said, "Honey, he really wants the bra reveal and for your bra to be signed by the guys." I was choking back tears. There were about 200 people on that set. I didn't want them seeing my breasts. Now, granted, the bra covered them, but I considered my underwear something that wasn't supposed to be displayed. "Come over here, honey," the AD said, walking me off set and into a dressing room where we should have had this conversation in the first place. "Is there something wrong with your bra? Let me see." I reluctantly lifted up my shirt and showed the AD my bra. I had tears in my eyes. "Oh, it's fine." "Oh, wait, I can see your... Hey, do we have any nip pads?" the AD asked wardrobe. "I want to talk to my mom," I said softly as a tear ran down my cheek. "I'm sorry, what did you say?" the AD asked, barely paying attention to me. "Can someone get my mom?" I asked louder. Sure." A few moments later, my mother walked in the dressing room. She saw me upset. "I don't want to lift up my shirt," I told my mom. "Why would you have to lift up your shirt?" my mom asked, confused. "The director wants me to say my lines and then lift up my shirt and ask the actors to sign my bra. That wasn't in the script, and I don't want to do that." "And you don't have to," my mother said. Then she was gone. I felt a sigh of relief leave my body. Maybe they thought I was older than 14, and my mom would tell them. Maybe then they would go back to how the script was originally written. After a while, the AD came into the dressing room. "Okay, honey, we've got it squared away." Great, I thought. "So I'll just say what's in the script?" I asked as we walked back to the set. "No, the other girl is going to say your lines and you'll say hers. You'll be switching characters," the AD told me. I was placed beside the girl who only had one line previously and waited for the director to say action. The girl was older than me, but not by much. I think she was 16. Her attitude went from cool to cocky as soon as she saw me take my mark. It was weird. The director finally yelled action, and we started the scene. Of course I knew the entire scene and everyone's lines, but it felt strange not doing anything that I had practiced. When the time came for her to ask for the autograph, she enthusiastically pulled up her shirt. She smiled bright as the actors took turns, one by one, pretending to sign her bra. I could see that the actors didn't love signing her bra. I giggled in character as the scene went on. We did that scene a few more times before we finished it and moved to the concert scene. The actors who played the Jackson 5 were kind to me. I could see that they felt sorry for me. That day didn't turn out how I planned it. I was never someone to just go along to get along when I felt uncomfortable. Once The Jacksons, An American Dream, came out on television, I tuned in to watch the miniseries just like the rest of America. It was very entertaining. However, the scene of the actress pulling her shirt up, followed by the Jackson 5 signing her bra, was cut. That always made me feel reassured that saying no can benefit your self-esteem. I would have felt terrible for years to come if I had have let production persuade me to compromise my dignity that day and do something that I really didn't want to do in front of 200 strangers at the age of 14. That was the first time I said no when production of a project would ask me to do something that made me feel uncomfortable, but it sure wouldn't be the last time. I just want to say all of my thoughts and prayers are going to the Jackson family, as Tito Jackson passed away this weekend. So please keep that family in your prayers. Like I said, doing that movie was at the time something I really wanted to do. I've always been a
Michael Jackson fan, Janet Jackson fan. I've always been a fan of that family because my family reminded me of them. We were all very, very hardworking. We're all really talented. And they seem to hold each other down, at least in the public eye. That's kind of what I came from as well. So I just was so excited to be a part of their movie, at that time. This was a long time ago. And me having to say no, it was the hardest. You got to understand, I was like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. And at that time, saying no in something I really wanted to do, I didn't know how that was going to turn out. And it actually turned out for me to be worse than I thought, because they took everything away from me because I said no. And then they actually cut it out. So obviously it still affected me because I'm talking about it now, so many years later. But I do remember that had a profound effect on me. And it was easier to say no after that. It's to stand up for myself, essentially. It became a little bit easier to do that. Now, if you want me to share another story where I did a different project and I had to say no, that one, I think I was 21 when I did that project, and I was working with Tiny Lister, Corrupt, Sean Blakemore. It was a fun little project, but it had a couple of turns in it. And I remember working on that project. By that time, it was a different party. So me saying no, I wasn't filled with angst and anxiety and nervousness and scary. I wasn't scary. I was actually quite the opposite of that. And I'll share that story with you if you want me to. Just let me know. It was, the project turned out to be cool, but just let me know if you want me to share that with you. Anyway, thank you for listening to Love, Life, and Lunatics. Please share your thoughts about this podcast. And if you liked it, please like and share. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on my show, or you know anyone who'd like to be a guest on my show and share a life, love, or crazy story that's happened to you, please email me at justonejania@gmail.com. That is just the number one, Jania, just one Jania, @gmail.com. I'd love to hear your story, and I'd love to have you as a guest. Please check out my show notes in the description box for more information. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, see ya. Love, life, and baby, things ain't always gonna be so bad. We can make it through the hard times. Believe me, life and